there are some people in our comments that were like totally convinced that the game was fine, and they were telling me that my neurons can't adapt or whatever to the game. But I guess 2XKO couldn't adapt to the market, bro.
Easy, bro.
Yeah, did we actually?
Wow. He held on to that shit for a year.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Should we read them out right now?
You are in this nigga's head. Congratulations.
I was gonna say,
free.
dude.
Not paying anything.
Sometimes it feels good to just slap your face.
All right.
I only slap asses.
Damn.
Even though nobody asked, we delivered. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. My name is Nestani.
My name is Jaxler.
I am DECosmic.
And I'm Coley.
And today on the podcast, we're going to spend the next 30 minutes talking about the anyway. We're going to talk about 2XKO ending development, actually, is the big story on the news. Dude, they dropped this, I think, a couple days after we recorded last week's episode, so that's kind of on Fortnite. Not to be
Dude, they keep doing this to us.
Yeah.
Like, all the stuff we want to talk about just, drops, the day after we record. Can, y'all, sync your news with our schedule, please? That'd be really nice.
I really wish that Riot Games, a company famous for having to pay out a multi-million-dollar lawsuit over bad, harassment practices in the workplace, would have considered our little podcast where they decided to cut off active development of 2XKO.
Could you fire and lay off people on Mondays or something?
Because we will get canceled.
I'm not going down with the shit with you, brother.
No, you're here. You're with me. Yeah.
All right.
Damn.
You said the N-word last week in the podcast, and I had to cut it out. So.
All right.
Yeah.
I love it when we lie. That's really
and I've now streamed 2 randomizers, which basically means I've started my.
You're retired. You're actually retired
because now
you're not going for the 102 anymore. You're
now
just streaming randomizers and nothing else.
Dude, I can't.
That's rough, buddy.
I can't go a day now without thinking about all the people that come in to stream during the archipelago, and they're like, Cosmic.
Yeah.
How's the goal orientation today? And so the thing is, right, is that on top of all that, it's usually followed by a very supportive message for somebody else in the call. Like, oh, hey, Coley. Oh, Jaxler's playing this game. Cool. Oh, hey, Nestani, I really liked your GDQ run.
No one said the last part. He's making up the last part. No one talks to me during our archipelagos. They talk to the other 3. I averaged 2 viewers during the archipelagos. I averaged 2 viewers. One of them's myself. One of them's Clagnarok. Okay? Clagnarok?
Dude,
you're my guy.
I don't even have people in my chat. Literally, the people I have in my chat are, Cole was being mean to me, so I'm going to go be in Jaxler's chat now. That's what ends up fucking happening. Or Cosmic isn't giving me attention. I'm going to go be in Jaxler's chat now. Because he will.
Oh, yeah. There will be times where, there was Dynamite Dan, it's true, but you can see who's base chat they're in, right? It's who are you watching right now?
Who do you really care about?
Dynamite Dan was like, hey, what's up, Cosmic? Fucking one of my emotes. And then 10 minutes later, I see it pop up in Jaxler's base chat, and it's like, hey, Jax. And I'm like, I tell you, man, you commentate a guy's GDQ run in room with him 2 times, and I still can't get you to be in my base chat. I'm never getting a text back, bro. It is what it is.
Dude, we're trying to cannibalize each other's chats during a fucking collab stream. That's great.
And we have shared chat on, so everyone's
it's funny,
which is good.
These streams have taught me that, life is honestly just one big randomizer, and Riot Games just got BK'd. It's kind of a bummer.
That was true.
So it's pretty good. So to go back to 2XKO is so this game's been out for 8 months. Now, this is a game where people told me for the better part of a few years.
Can we give context? So basically, 2XKO has ended development. And so what that means is that for the rest of the year, they have patches ready and rolled out. And so they're going to roll out all the patches that they have prepared for the game. This includes Lux and I think one other champion.
Samira.
I knew it started with an S. It wasn't Senna. Not to be used with the streamer Senna or Senna the League Championship. There is a League champion named Senna, you bitch, Jaxler. I'm looking at Senna, you, motherfucker. He thought I was only referencing, I was talking about both the League champ and
You don't even spell the streamer Cinna's name with a C.
Wait, yeah, you do. It's CINNA is the streamer, and then SENNA is the league champion. Ratio.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Lucian's wife. That character is fucking cool.
Thank you. Cinna's also hot, both of them. And anyway, so.
Oh, I was going to say both of them there. Yeah,
exactly.
Lucian's one of my favorite champions in the game.
I like Cinna.
I stopped playing by the time Cinna came out.
This is good for us.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they into active development, and but the thing that's actually really cool about this, which it's Twitter, so they're not going to talk about this, but the really cool thing they're refunding everyone who spent money on the game.
Yeah.
Like in terms of cosmetics or in terms of base?
Yes. Yeah. Everything.
Wow. Yeah. Everything.
So, and they're replacing it with a $40
they're doing
tier.
that.
They're basically making that. They are replacing it with a $40 tier where you get all the champions, all the cosmetics, everything in one bundle.
For $40.
Well, the funny thing is that they're unlocking all the champions. So that $40 bundle is just the cosmetics.
Oh.
The game is still free to play, which is wild. Like, this is the big part of this announcement that is just like, well, I don't want to give it to you, but this is literally like unprecedented, I wouldn't say, up to this point.
I've never seen anything like it.
Is that people that, businesses that have collected money for a game, even when the game ends, they're like, thank you for the support. Like, we're moving on here, no matter how long it was, But Riot apparently this is kind of why I question whether or not they really wanted this game to succeed. I feel like they just weren't. Like, when you cut it off this hard and this soon, it's just like, I feel like after all this time, they just kind of wanted to kick this game out the fucking door, launch it, and then see what happened.
I actually view it differently.
And then if it wasn't
like this says that they were not making money on this game. That's what that screams. That's what I mean. Is that like made zero money on this game? Take your money back, bro.
This is what I mean. Is that it's such the refund is such a drop in the bucket at this point that they're just kind of like, we don't care about this game, dude. We're just goodbye. Yeah. Like, and it also calls into question for me, like I said, whether or not they really wanted to support it, because like they kind of like kicked it out the door, and then it's like, all right, well, even though they say in this post like, oh, we would have loved to see this happen over time, like to get this really big base or like this really solid base of people and blah 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 blah, and then they go, we would have loved to have this happen over time, but you cut the game off in the first 8 months.
Yeah, and
it's like direct contradiction basically there. But this was a game people told me was going to be around for the next 10 years. So yeah, solid it's gonna guess be around. There.
Yeah.
But as they said it was going to receive support for the next 10 years. And I was like, no shot.
No.
Because live service, this game probably would have done fine if it were actually like a $40 to $60 game. Because then you at least have a revenue stream constantly. But for free to play games, you got to be the cream of the crop, the best in the biz, the person that everybody's on. Otherwise, it just really doesn't matter, because then at that point, you're relying on like the 10% of whales that are going to be the ones who spend 80% of the money in the game. But a live service game just doesn't have room for that. And when everybody else is monetized in the same way, in a different way, which is that, there's the initial price of the game and then you pay for characters after that. Sometimes cosmetics, depending on what they release, like Granblue or Strive have this sort of thing, and Strive now having its battle pass. And I don't remember if Granblue's is paid though. But it's just like it's very feast or famine, most likely famine. This whole model that they kind of went with. So
it also doesn't make sense because
question,
there's just not enough monetization in fighting games in general. Like,
that was going to be my thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Is live service? Yeah. I don't think live service as a model alone is enough to keep a fighting.
So here's the counterexample. Here's the counterexample is the Killer Instinct reboot, or like soft reboot that happened. That was also free to play. And I think you might have bought characters or something like that. I don't remember. But like you had one to start with, and then you technically only just needed to buy the one character that you were gonna like main or whatever. But that was a game that was like pretty low budget though, and also kind of made by effectively like casuals, and they kind of like made the game but they were like veterans of the industry at that point as well too. But it's just like that game came out and had a very different model from a lot of other fighting games. It was also only on the Xbox One. And at that time, like everybody had a PS4, man. Pretty much nobody had an Xbox One. But it like comparatively anyway, I should say. So it's like it came out again kind of at odds with the larger fighting game base, but it still ended up doing pretty well for itself. And then those devs got like moved or something or laid off or whatever. And then a team called Iron Galaxy, which was Keats was a part of, they came in. Keats is he's another fighting game pro player. And now he does like a lot of balance work for games, but another game dev. But that team came in and still knocked it out of the park the whole time, you know, until they actually ended service for it like 3 years after the game came out or something. But or maybe it was 2 years because I think they had a season 2, and like both of those were pretty well regarded on a essentially free to play fighting game. So.
Well, it's funny as well now, just considering that Iron Galaxy has also gone through a pretty not insubstantial amount of layoffs. Yeah. So like, I don't know. It's just like, I wonder if like, because I don't know too much about Riot's history outside of, obviously they make League of Legends. They also made the card game thing, Runeterra, right?
Valorant.
Like,
Runeterra right now is the card game.
Low key, it makes me wonder if they know how to ship a game that isn't fully live service.
Well, that's their model.
I mean, I think that they wanted to go. They wanted to keep with that monetization status or that monetization structure. But I think they really kind of did themselves a disservice by not just monetizing the way everybody else does this time around. Because it was a very just sink or swim type deal with this. If a game that is like $40 to $60 comes out and does fine amidst its peers, you can build into a much bigger game from that point because you've got enough of a revenue like base there to do something with it. But because they had so little money that they'd made so little money on the game that they just went, yeah, just take it back. Like, our bad. You know, just take it back. Yeah. All of it. It's really weird to see, but it is like I said, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in the industry. And that's like almost kind of cool, right? That they were just like, you know what? Now, whether or not you want to spend any money on cosmetics in the game, that is your choice. We're going to give you your money back and give you the agency to decide whether or not you want to give us money for this game after active development has been shut down. But it's also like really strange to me too, that like just the way this game kind of like came up and launched with like so little a roster, like so small a roster.
Yeah.
And then like they hired these. So the thing is that I assume that Riot wanted to make this a fighting game that was like good for people that were getting into fighting games. Right. But they ended up hiring a lot of people who were very deep in the weeds of the fighting game community. And these are people like Nerd Josh, Don Yahosi, a couple other people that if you know like the FGC pretty well, you likely know who these people are. But they're not necessarily like designers. They're really, really good at the games that they play.
Yeah.
And some of them, and some of them like Yahosi, she has pretty cerebral thoughts on balance and like general game design. I'm not exactly sure her background, but I know that she is. I was a pretty big fan of her when she played Dragon Ball FighterZ because she was like one of the first Gotenks players. But there's a lot of like very disparate ideas in this game. And it being a tag fighter meant that like it's a lot for somebody new to fighting games to pick up.
Yeah.
Because immediately you got to learn 2 characters, right? Now, what I will say is that this game does a better job of making it so that when you lose a character, it doesn't feel like such a lost cause to try and, climb the hill like it does in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, for example, because you lose half the game's fucking mechanics when your teammate dies.
Yeah, because you can't use your assist.
Yeah, you can't use your assist. You can't use the combo breaker. Like, there's a lot.
Yeah.
You can't use the active tag, which is like the mechanic in the game. But then there's a lot of these disparate ideas that all kind of draw from different games. But number one, there's not really anything tying this game to League outside of the characters, which then you sort of lose some of the appeal for a League fan, right? And then like number 2 or 3, because there's a lot of disparate ideas, it effectively is like a game with not very much identity of its own, other than its identity being a conglomerate of identities. And who's to say really if that's a good design philosophy or not? I mean, I'm inclined to think that it depends, but also like they made a simple input tag fighter, and I don't think that if they wanted to have this succeed with what they were trying to do, they clearly didn't end up with the type of product that they wanted, which was probably like something closer to Street Fighter.
That was what I was going to say, because I think if you look at Riot Games, like kind of their big claim to fame, if we look at League of Legends, what League of Legends was at its inception, people called it a Dota 2 ripoff. But really what they did is they took that kind of style of MOBA and they simplified it a bit more and they streamlined it, right? So, and that ended up being a big key, I think, as to why that game succeeded, because it then became a bit more accessible in some ways. Now, it then went on to have its own kind of separate identity from being a Dota 2 clone, right? But that begs the question, why would Riot not do the same thing with this game, right? Take some, like something more Street Fighter-like, where it's just like, make it... I mean, Street Fighter is already, like, pretty... As far as fighting games go, it is kind of just like the base. I think a lot of people...
It is the base,
would suggest, so it's kind of hard to already do that on like a 2D fighter level.
Like it kind of has already happened in some regard with Grand Blue Fantasy Versus.
Sure, yeah.
So it's like that game took some of like the Street Fighter stuff, some of the anime fighter stuff, and like leaned a lot of it into the Street Fighter style, but then also has enough monetization to match the gacha that bears its namesake, or bears the namesake from. So there's a lot of like costumes to buy. There's the battle pass. There's, colors and everything to buy. There's like a lot of cool customization stuff. And then there's more characters to buy. They keep coming out with characters. Like in a lot of ways, the Grand Blue is pretty much what 2XKO probably would have ended up as if development hadn't restarted at some point.
Yeah, because wasn't 2XKO in like development hell, if I remember correctly? Like it's been worked on for like a long time, right?
Yeah, when the project started, they had bought out this company. I forget the guy's names and I forget the company's name, but they were the ones that were working on a fighting game that people might have heard of for a little while called Rising Thunder. And it was just a very simple button fighting game where your buttons were just like light, medium, heavy, forward with a button, back with a button, that sort of thing.
Yeah, something I could actually play.
And it even had like some alpha or beta tests. I actually remember playing that game like in one of its tests pretty early on. I don't remember exactly how that came to be. That's like almost like a liminal experience when I think about that day that I played that, because it's just like I engaged in what is now probably lost media, and it just was like, it was just gone. And I was like, well, I just, okay, because it wasn't like, I think that's my first experience with like just software like vanishing before my eyes, basically. But it's like those guys were the ones working on Rising Thunder. And at the time, it was like known for being that game was known for wanting to be like an even simpler Street Fighter. Like it was going to be everybody's first fighting game was basically the idea, by making everything simple, everything easy. And then you just had some cool character kits or whatever. And so they started out trying to make a game that was like Street Fighter. And there's even early screenshots of a character that never ended up in 2XKO, which is Katarina, who's also like one of the coolest fucking characters in the game and is also one of the poster women for the game. So you would think she would show up first, but she doesn't.
Yeah, they went with Ari.
But that was like them in a one.
Fair.
But they went with Ari. Yeah, I mean, K-pop Demon Hunters makes sense. But like it was just like a one-on-one fighter with like Street Fighter-ish health bars and stuff. And that's like some of the earliest screenshots we have of the game. And then at some point, development restarts. And I think it's when they brought in like Clockwork, Nerd Josh, Yahozi. I think that, who was it? Was Apology Man on that team? He might have been. But anyway, they brought in a lot of these people. And then the game switches over to being a tag fighter. Now, Nerd Josh and Clockwork, what fighting game do you think that they're famous for? If you thought Marvel vs. Capcom 2, you'd be correct. And what game is Don Yahozi famous for? Dragon Ball Fighters. Okay, now we understand.
Apology
also
Man. Famous for
Apology Man, Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
And Strive nowadays, but Marvel 3.
And Strive, but he did come up as a Firebrand player in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
He got like
Firebrand
Evo. Like
something like that. Yeah, that team is fucked up, man. Oh boy.
I saw the Papa Lobster video on that team. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's just
it's
funny.
Pretty good. But all these people are known for tag fighters, and now like I think they also had Pat the Flip was on there, who actually kind of stands out in this crowd because I believe he's a chip player in Guilty Gear, which from this whole experience we just need to realize that we can't let chip players design fighting games. So,
damn.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Anyway, so all this kind of goes down, and that's when development restarts, and we end up with what turns into 2XKO. I remember how they tried to justify that name too with a blog post where they made fun of the name Under Night in Birth, which is also one of the coolest fucking names in fighting games.
They could have just kept Project L at this point, bro. That shit was better.
Project L was so much better.
It certainly wasn't a Project W. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. So it's like, I'm sorry.
I think they really just killed the game with the name. Honestly, I'll just be so for real.
I mean, that's part of it, because then it distances itself even further from League. So like, and they also didn't market this game very much at all. There are people that found out about that game launching from the end of dev support post. They didn't realize it had even launched yet, bro.
Yeah. There's so many people that didn't know it existed.
Like the name
and it's
of
just
some,
like
the name of some. It's what we've always talked about. The packaging is so important. Like literally, if you like just say 2XKO, it's like not easy to like say out loud.
They could have just named it League of Fighters.
No, you actually can't shorten it. Yeah,
League of Fighting
League
games.
of Fighters.
Fucking
or Summoner's Brawl. I don't know. Like literally, it could have been anything.
Summoner's Rift versus. I don't know, bro. Summoner's Brawl. That's actually cooking, to be honest.
Dude, it took me 2 seconds of like not having my thumb up my ass. You know, it's like. But that's like the thing is like those little mechanical things of how a name is said or processed in the head completely changes the way you remember it. Yeah. Like if something takes too much brain power to remember, then people won't remember it. My brother is a classic example of that, where sometimes for certain things for him, it is just too much effort to remember something. So it just exits. Right.
I do have some hot takes about this game. Unless you're still going, Cosmic.
I was kind of still going.
Okay, go ahead.
But you go for it.
No, have fun. Go ahead.
Go stupid.
No, so I mean, I've just been notorious. I've been a notorious hater of this game for a while, and I was pretty critical of the development of it because I think that bringing in pro players to design a game is just a bad move. Like, because the thing is that like players think like players, they don't think like designers.
Yes,
95% of the time. So they are an inherently selfish perspective. So it's like
speedrunners are beta testers.
Well, why should
we know this?
Speedrunners are beta testers. Pro players are excellent devs,
and cops love black people. Go ahead.
Jesus.
true. All right, sorry, I'm reeling from the orbital truth.
Dude, rule of threes strikes again. All right.
Yeah. But no, I don't know, man. It's just like once I saw how long this game was taking, I was like, this is fumbling, bro. This is 100% fumbling. And then like the whole thing with Riot and their lawsuits and harassments and stuff, I'm like, I don't know. I'm out, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's not good. And then more footage of the game came out and I saw sort of like how disjointed and like, okay, whatever that game is. I mean, I will be. I mean, you know, there are some people in our comments that were like totally convinced that the game was fine. And they were telling me that, you know, my neurons can't adapt or whatever to the game. Dude, but I guess 2XKO couldn't adapt to the market, bro.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah, did we actually get comments?
He held on to that shit for a year.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Should we read them out right now?
You are in this nigga's head. Congratulations.
I was gonna say,
free.
dude.
Not paying anything. You're just kicking around up there, knocking on his fucking brain cells like, hey.
Yeah,
dude, those comments got him like, everything reminds me of her. Everything reminds me of her.
That's true.
Take a look at this. I want to read these comments.
Well, I figured I could hold on to the. Well, I said that. Well, so what I was going to say is I figured I could hold on to that grudge long enough because I knew it'd be less than a year with 2XKO's launch. So, it's fine, pathetic. You know, but it's just like, I don't know, man. There's something about that game too that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And then I was just like, I see what this is. Cause it's just like, I don't know. I also don't like the whole simple input thing. I think it's just cringe.
Damn.
But it is what it is, you know? So go ahead, Nestani.
Cool. Okay. So here's I have a couple hot takes. So I think you kind of touched on this, although I'm just going to frame this a little bit differently. I just don't think that they made this game with any like casual forethought put into it. Like, I think this game was strictly made from the lens of we are trying to make a competitive fighting game. Who the fuck wants to play a competitive fighting game? Not my ass, bro. I'm not trying to do that. I hate fighting games, notoriously. Especially the fucking 2D back and forth, like, garbage, all right? Like, I'm not doing that shit. It's, like, casually, like, those games are just really, really hard to get into. Full stop. And I know a lot of people are like, no, it's not. It just is.
It is.
Okay? It just is.
To your point, Nestani, one of the most famous and well-received fighting games is Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is basically just Capcom dumping a bunch of sprites into a game and being like, yeah, have fun. Here's your party game. And then a meta actually develops out of it. Yeah. It was not designed to be a competitive fighting game. People will tell me that's a good game. I'm like, no, absolutely not. It's not a good game because like 40% of the characters don't fucking work, bro.
Yeah.
And then there's Magneto with a 1-frame jab, you know, and it's just like,
yeah.
People have said to me before, dude, if you play the 10 characters in that game that are good, then the game's good. I'm like, there's 50 characters, bro. This isn't a good game. But anyway, I almost derailed us again. So,
yeah, but I mean, that's the thing, though, is that they didn't make it with any casual forethought in mind, right? They didn't say, hey, let's make a good game and hope that people want to keep playing it. They said, let's try to manufacture a competitive game to hopefully just foster a competitive scene. But the thing is, competitive scenes do not happen unless you have a casual fan base. You know how many people are good at League of Legends? Like approximately 47 people in the United States, but even then they kind of suck in comparison to like the 90% of the Korean population, all right? But regardless, there's so many people that play League of Legends casually just every day. They're just slamming ARAMs, they're just playing with their friends, they're losing their entire brain cells on rank, calling people slurs for fun, but they're playing the game and they suck and they're in silver, but they're gonna call you the N-word, okay, motherfucker? Watch out, okay? But there's so many people that play the game because they just love the game. Now, every League of Players will tell you that they hate the game, but they all love the game because they play it forever. Let's keep it a buck. Yeah. Right? And it's just like they just didn't make this game with that lens in mind. And my supporting argument here is a notorious platform fighter, which fucking just blew up and failed in a big giant fire like 2 months after release in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. They're like, let's make a Melee clone. It's like Melee, guys. Come on, you like this game, right? Melee, wow. And then everyone's like,
are you talking about the first one or the second one?
Both, but mainly the second one.
Because, I was going to say, because low-key, I thought the first one was more fun.
Yeah. The first one was
infinitely more fun.
But the second one was the one that got more push because it was Melee clone or whatever. And it eventually...
or they were trying to make a more elevated platform
And it just died. It just died because they were just strictly making that game through the competitive lens. Like, they didn't put any really thought into just making a good casual experience. And I just think that, like...
Yeah. Like, do you know how stupid fun it is to command grab people as Patrick and just yoink them off the stage and they fucking die? Like, where is that shit in SB 2, right? Or maybe it is in there. I don't know. But, like... It's not like you need stupid shit. You need that fun. Like they forgot to figure out how to find the fun. Like when I was in school, that was the number one thing they taught us was find the fun first, find the engaging experience first, and then mold it and then shape it and then, work on the onboard, all these types of things. Because if the thing you're making isn't fundamentally like fun, and maybe 2XKO is a fun game. I don't know. I haven't played it, but it's just
I had fun playing it.
Yeah,
but
you
gotta
nothing
to do
focus
outside
on
of
the fun.
Being competitive.
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah,
and
I think if there's no reason to fuck around, like what are we doing? Like you can fuck around in League, you can fuck around in Melee. Are you kidding me? The amount of times I fucking hopped on the Young Link, dude, you can fuck around in that game. But like, I don't know. Can you fuck around in 2XKO? I don't know. There's not enough characters to fuck around with.
Not really.
There's not enough game.
Yeah, because that's the thing is that, like, if you think about Melee 2, which is, like, I feel like every single new fighting game is just almost, like, trying to resemble, like, Tekken, Street Fighter, and Melee. Like, the fucking, like, the big three, really, that have just been around forever. There's probably another fighting game that I'm forgetting, but everyone's like, what about Soul Calibur? Kill yourself. Okay, I don't care.
That was a little targeted.
But, like, Melee literally as a game is literally fucking whoever the nigga is, Miyamoto, Mikasa, whatever his name is. He was like, I want to make...
Mikasa's crazy.
Mikasa? I thought you said Miyamoto for a second. I'm like, isn't that the guy that made Mario? Like,
he said Miyamoto or Mikasa. So either got the guy who made Mario or the fucking Attack on Titan. What are we doing?
One of them made Melee. I don't know. Whoever made Melee. Sakurai. There we go. I got there. Sakurai's the
Masahiro Sakurai.
Yeah, whatever. I got there.
Yes,
yeah, anyway.
Yes.
So Masayoshi, the streamer, made Melee, right? And basically,
Famously.
like, they just made this game, and it's just a really fun game. It's literally just meant to be a party game. Notoriously, Nintendo does not want it to be a competitive game, so they squash it, right? But like that whole thing aside, like they just made a fun game, and it just happened to be very technically dense out of a mistake, by the way. Like it wasn't intended. Like the game's just broken in the most perfect way for a competitive scene to thrive off of, right? And even then, it's not a perfect way because they have UCF and all these other fucking bullshits that they do now to make the game bearable to play. But regardless, like they at the core, they attempted to make that game fun first. And this leads to my hot take. Why the fuck are they making a traditional fighter? They should have just made a Platfire. What the fuck are they doing? Like, what the fuck are they doing? Here's, like, in what universe would Riot be like, let's make a free-to-play fighting game and not have it be a Platfighter? Just make it be a Platfire. Just fuck you. Have you seen Super Smash Brothers Ultimate? Have you seen, like, just fucking...
It's so much easier to add the bullshit to mess around with. Like, Rivals of Aether 2, for example, has, like, you know, they've recently introduced items into the game. They have arcade mode, like break the targets, and, like, you know, even Rivals 1 had like this really interesting like game mode where you could like unlock buffs to your characters that made them just fucking wacky and insane as like single player content.
Yes.
Like,
and it's much easier.
I'm sure there's ways to do that with a standard 2D fighter, but it's like way easier.
Yeah.
Think about the Subspace Missionary, but it's with League characters.
Subspace Missionary!
Dude, we're fucking printing money.
It's my favorite position, subspace missionary.
Whatever the fuck that shit's called, you know what I'm talking about. The subspace missionary, whatever the fuck it is.
Emissary. Emissary is like a fucking representative.
I get transported to like another dimension when I'm in that position. The subspace missionary. Ooh,
dude, we know you haven't been in missionary. We don't. None of us have.
That white boy's about to explode.
True, I know you're a white boy. But like, dude, just imagine that. Like, they could have literally just did a fucking Smash clone with the subspace and just had you play with the League characters and wrote a fucking storyline. Dude, they would have printed so much money casually. People would have just been fucking lining up to play that shit.
Facts, yeah.
All you have to do is launch with 20 characters. 20 characters, Plat Fighter.
Not even 20.
You have
12.
12. Fuck it. But like
8,
20.
maybe.
Like, if they had 20, though, if it was like the cast of Melee, they had 20 characters, they have like just a couple single player things, the game would have fucking blew up. It would have been a pipe bomb, bro. And they actually could have maybe sustained the free to play model if they did that. Maybe. Like, I still think I agree with Cosmic that they should have charged for it up front regardless, but I think they should have charged like $20 for it or something. Like something lower, like indie level. I think that would be more competitive and kind of line up with them. But like regardless, I think that like a Platfighter would have just worked so much better. Because like fucking Brawlhalla still does well, even though who the fuck plays that game? I don't know. A lot of people, apparently.
Yeah.
But
it's
like
so easy to add the alternate game modes too. Like like there's so many so Rivals 1, for example, had an entire...
They built their whole shit off of copying other games. They copied CS2, they copied Dota. Just copy fucking Smash Ultimate, bro. Copy Brawl. Yeah. Just copy it one for one. Just fucking throw Senna in there. Throw fucking Lux in there. Throw Ari in there. Throw fucking Lucian.
Throw all the hot ones.
Bastodon. Whoever the fuck. I don't know any more League champions. Echo. Garen. Varkarius from Mass Effect. Put him in the game too randomly. Fuck it. That's Garrus.
Yeah.
Fuck, not Garen.
There's like Vayne. There's Vayne. The thing too is that even though these were like pro players making this game, they didn't think. Well, Vi was in there. You got to really know you're fucking up if you put Vi.
Yeah.
If you put Vi and Samira in a video game,
dude, what's the next season of Arcane?
DECosmic says, I still don't want to play it. You know you fucked up. Like,
do we know when the next season of Arcane is out? Sorry, I'm so distracted. I don't give a shit about anything that besides Arcane. I love that show. It's good.
That's fair.
I've never played League of Legends before.
Let's see.
Well, I have, but like I'm not in the league.
There is no season 3 of Arcane.
They canceled it,
and there will not be. No,
I think the show just ended. Yeah, like season 2 is the end.
Yeah, it's over.
So are they making another show then?
Probably.
Okay, they better make some more shit, bro. That shit's good. Anyway, back to this. So they should have just made a Platfire. I don't know what the fuck these guys are doing. Like their whole thing, we kind of built it up of like they take games and they make them simpler. What the fuck are we doing? Making a traditional Platfire? No one's playing that shit casually. Like
there's so many there's so many opportunities.
Casually,
if they looked at other games that had like I think of Rivals, and I also think of Smash Flash 2 as examples where it's like they figured out how to make alternate game modes. Like Rivals 1, for example, that like people started running tournaments for it because people just found it that fun to mess around with. It was called Tetherball. And it like had the same Platfighter stuff, but there was a tetherball in the center of the map. And if you hit the tetherball with one of your moves in the correct direction, it would spin it around. And your goal was to win a game of tetherball, but with your Smash character, essentially. So you could either hit the tetherball or your opponent. And it was really fucking fun. You get a buddy in there and play doubles of tetherball. Holy fucking shit. It is. I think if the ball goes fast enough, it can also hit you and like knock you back, right? So shit like that. Or in Smash Flash 2, my favorite was called Sandbag Basketball. So in Melee, like the home run contest, right? You like beat the shit out of the sandbag and then you hit it with the baseball bat. What Sandbag Basketball is similar to tetherball. You beat the shit out of the sandbag with the goal of knocking it up into the air and into a basketball hoop on the other side. So like, or like Sandbag Soccer, or just like there's so many. You're right. It's crazy because you pitched it to us as a hot take, but honestly, the more I think about it, I'm like,
ice cold.
That's just it's like 1+1.
Oh yeah, it's pretty ice cold. It's pretty ice cold. Also, they could have called it Rift Rivals, and Rift Rivals would have gone ham.
Well, they can't call it Rivals because the Rivals.
Yeah, because you have Rivals of Aether too.
Yeah.
So there's some competition on that.
Just call it Riftbound. Wait, that's their card game that they just launched.
Oh,
whatever.
I said Summoner's Brawl. Summoner's Brawl.
Just, dude, literally call it Summoner's Brawl. And then people are like, Brawl, Smash, and it's a Smash clone. Like, come on. Yeah. I mean, that's
Super
my thing.
Rift something.
They should have just made a Platfire.
Super
I don't
Rift
know
Bros.
what they were thinking. Like, if you make a traditional fighter, you have to charge for it. If you wanted to do this free-to-play monitor, your only hope was to do a Platfighter.
Yeah.
But even then, fighting game players don't spend money.
Yeah.
Like, they just don't. they're willing to buy the game. They're not willing to buy shit to like, for the most part. That's kind of changing nowadays. It's slowly changing. But I think
the thing is,
the
right,
long
is
history
that
of the FGC doesn't do that shit though.
People, here's the thing, is that people have been slowly conned into just buying more characters, basically. So like that's what they spend money on is like the, $35 for the season pass.
Smash
this used to come. So people also people tell me like, oh yeah, this is the same as we used to get. We used to get different releases of the game instead of patching onto the game. And I'm like, yeah, but like every version of BlazBlue came with more story.
Yeah.
And like other updated stuff. Like
single
you
player
paid
stuff.
$40, but they did make a new game.
A whole ass game. Yeah.
Like
the mechanical changes would be so different that it would justify it.
Yeah, like BlazBlue lost an entire mechanic called guard primers from Continuum Shift to Chrono Phantasma. Like a big part of what made defense in that game was just gone. And I mean, I thought the game was better for it. So,
and also the thing too is that with this plat fighter thing, like they could have just made it like Ultimate, like no combos, no fucking nothing. Like people will find combos. Yep. Like you can make the game as like easy as possible. People will try to find a way to overcomplicate the fuck out of it if they want it to, right? Because like Ultimate notoriously got fucking shit on because they're like, oh, this game's so easy. There's like no buffer. The buffer window's so big. You can't do combos in this game. Oh, I'm a melee player. I kill myself because I can't do this fucking Fox tech skill that I can't train 20 years for. Please put it in the new game. Like, literally, bro. And it's just like it's just like so dumb. And like I don't know. Anyway, League of Legends, hire me. Give me a bunch of money and I'll give you that idea for free.
You don't want to work it right. I don't think
I'm not a woman. I'll be fine.
Yeah, but you're also not white, so it's like...
No, I'll be good.
All right, fair enough. Take your chances, man.
That's the craziest thing I ever did hear you say. I'm not a woman, I'll be fine. I mean, and unfortunately...
I'll be good at Blizzard, too. Activision.
Well...
Yeah. So Jax wanted to talk about something.
That was always
the sad thing is... Yeah, that's...
Dude,
that's my segue to you, Jaxler. You're welcome.
Yeah, that is my segue.
Off the heels.
Yeah. So I've been in my own head a lot. And I've been kind of thinking about
which one?
Like streaming. Take a fucking guess, brother. I'm asexual. You know this. Come on, man. 2 + 2.
Yeah, let's lock in.
Yeah, lock the
22.
But well, I mean, speaking of locking in, all right, me when I was age 5.
You locked in at age 5? Holy shit, this guy's built different.
When I was 5, I thought 2 + 2 was 22. I tried to drink milk up my nose with a fucking straw. My parents used to tell me like they would joke to each other like they thought I was stupid. Like they was like, well, at least he's cute because like he has no chance. And then I go history. Hey, I mean, I got some useless degrees. Actually, wait, no, I am stupid. I have 2 useless degrees in that room over there. But
1 + 1.
Speaking of not being very smart, I've been kind of chewing around a weird thought in my head with regards to streaming because I've kind of been doing it a lot more. One, because I'm no longer on my ADHD meds, which weirdly enough has made me more productive. Strange. But we've also been doing a lot more with these like archipelago type of things. And I've kind of come to the realization that I don't feel like I'm really that entertaining as a streamer. And we've kind of talked privately about like being entertaining as a streamer or trying to be like engaging and stuff like that. And I think I came from a weird perspective of like feeling like all of my skill, like I feel way more comfortable doing like the podcast or pre-recorded stuff or YouTube stuff than I do when it's live, when I'm on a live stream type of thing. And maybe some of that's like the mental game type of thing of not being live broadcast to the internet. But it's like, I'm realizing that like not every skill from doing YouTube content type of stuff is translatable into Twitch streaming or YouTube streaming or anything like that. And one of the things I was kind of like really sort of thinking on is that like, when I watch a lot of streamers that seem to be successful or seem to be pretty popular, they are always able to like talk constantly. Like about stuff and keep people engaged and keep the conversation moving, as opposed to me where it's like I can engage with a conversation that's happening in my chat, but I can't really generate those kinds of things on my own. I can only really like sort of maintain or maybe like contribute on top of that. So if it's like a stream, for example, where people aren't really talking about all that much, or it's like I don't explicitly have a thing I'm really interested in talking about, then it's just kind of quiet, and then it becomes less engaging for people, right? So I don't know. Does that Nestani, I know you have some opinions on this, but it's like I kind of feel like I'm a bad streamer.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
You are.
So yeah, like. But also, like...
I'm also a terrible streamer. I'm the worst streamer here.
Yeah.
I can talk my shit. I don't give a fuck. Because you can point a finger at me, and I'll be like, I'm dog shit. I'm worse than everyone here combined.
Yeah.
Easy.
But also, like... Let me... Before we even go that far, let me double back and be like, okay, what are we looking at the qualities of for a... good? Like, are we talking good as in successful? Are we talking good as entertaining? Because, like, my... You know, one of my thoughts that has been creeping into my head is, like... If I'm streaming, like streaming for the sake of entertaining at all times, 100% feels wrong to me. And I've been trying to understand where that impulse comes from. Because like people put on streams to watch them because it's engaging or what have you.
Not necessarily.
Or to put on in the background or what have you, right? Second monitor. So it's like passively entertaining, I guess. So I
don't know where you want me to go with this. I don't know what the pitch is here.
I'm trying to figure.
I will say that I feel like you're not giving yourself a fair comparison because speedrunning, like
man, even playing games casually on stream or doing.
Do you feel that way? Okay, because I was gonna say the thing about speedrunning is
casually on stream. Game dev streams I've done before. I think the problem is I don't talk is the big problem. Because here's the deal.
It's a funny sentence in the vacuum. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't want to, I just, which is crazy because you know me, I yap in spurts, but it's like.
Having trouble because I don't talk, says person talking to communicate this to you. This is actually like this podcast equivalent of no hablo español.
The vacuum was so good, man. I'm sorry. Continue
no
with your point.
Español.
I'm sorry we blew up your whole spot.
Much like vacuums, this shit sucks, bro.
But I guess where I was trying to kind of like go with that is maybe not that I'm I'm bad with like sharing everything that is on my mind like regularly. Like that is a muscle that is weak for me that I have to work really hard to actively remember to use.
I have a question. Do you have things on your mind all the time or do you not?
I do, but I'm talking to myself in my head. And so part of it is if I'm saying it out loud again, it's like I'm saying the same thing twice in a row. And that gets kind of exhausting.
Damn.
But on top of that,
think before you speak. It's smart.
Yeah, I know.
You wouldn't believe it from the podcast.
You wouldn't believe it from the podcast, but it's like, I have this weird thing
Cut
as
to
well
grandma's
with
pushy ashes. What liquid would you pour in vagina? I was like, huh, you think about all that?
Devastating liquid. He's thinking about it before he launches it, guys.
Yeah,
that's very interesting. For me, it's like when I talk, I do not think about it at all. And actually, that's why I like talking to myself, is because it allows me to I talk way slower than my mind does.
I can't talk to myself out loud. I have to talk to myself in my head. But also, I have this weird. I think we've talked about the notion of like how much we share online. I am like, compared to what you think, pretty like private. Not in terms of like all my details, but in terms of. I have this weird relationship with like information or secrets or things that I know that aren't shared with other people. Because growing up, I shared everything.
Don't worry, dude. I don't show my social security number with anybody.
Dude, so I know, dude. Yeah.
But you got there. You were like three stutters away from fumbling that joke. I just want to let you know.
All right, cool.
But I don't want to get too much into my because I don't want to derail. I don't want to take too much away from where I want to go with this. But it's like,
yeah. So what are you touching me? Where are you prompting me to go? That's really like. Because you wanted to prompt me, but you're prompting me with this giant ocean. I don't know which one to go down. Yeah. I have like four different roads.
I'm trying to get there.
Okay.
And this is what I'm talking about, where I'm really bad at talking. Yeah. Where it's like,
dude,
because
it's just a soy jack.
Yeah, it's bad, man. Oh,
I'm sorry.
God.
I didn't mean to
I can
interrupt
see
you,
but no, it's all good. But it's like because I grew up having to share like so much of everything and being so tied to the hip with my brother and other people in my family, things in my head and like my thoughts and my experiences were the only things that I had that were mine and mine only, if that makes sense. So I am very reticent or reluctant to necessarily share everything or every story that I have or everything that I think. Because if I share everything, then I don't really have much anymore that is ever truly mine, right? So what that results in is I end up not really talking, right? So I guess I guess a question I have, I guess kind of my thesis is that like, you know, people who are more actively talking, engaged, etc., are more entertaining, right? Am I on the right track thinking that? And also, on the opposite, is it possible to be someone who's a lot more quiet, a lot more reserved, and still be entertaining? I guess is the question. Because I don't see examples of that.
You cannot say a single fucking word if you're the best people to watch.
Yeah. But then there's a difference between you being entertaining versus the stream being entertaining, I guess is the other thing. Because I feel like I'm like locked up in my own head at the moment.
I think I'm just going to take some liberties and I'm just going to talk for a while. I think there are a couple different layers of what you can mean by being entertaining on stream, and that really derives to what you view as a stream. And so in my head, I view a stream as you are entertaining your chat for an extended amount of time, and you are focused on doing that for an extended amount of time. So this automatically excludes 80 to 90% of the top streamers on Twitch. They don't stream. They clip farm. These are different things. They are not streamers. So they are not good people to look at because they don't fucking stream. Okay, like I've mentioned this many times on my own stream. I don't know how much I've said it here, but like Senna used to actually stream. Used to be a good streamer when she was at like 2,000 to 3,000 to 4,000 viewers. She actually like streamed, and it was a stream of consciousness. She would interact with chat. It was this whole back and forth like conversation, and it was like, how do I engage people for this 2 hour to 4 hour long stream continuously? Now, if you watch her stream, you can literally see the cogs turning in her head trying to find the next clip. She's literally saying nothing out loud. She's just yapping. Not like her brain is completely like taken away from her mouth. Like her mouth is just going while she's hunting for the next clip. Agent does this. Kai does this. Speed does this. Every single popular streamer does this. They're all not even engaging in the art of streaming, in my opinion. Okay, this is also coming from me, old head. I started watching Twitch 2013. I'm not old head. Like, I'm not PMC Trilogy. Let's chill out.
Yeah, you're not Justin TV era.
I'm still pretty OG, right? And that's the era I grew up in. And those are the streamers that I watch, right? And like most of the big streamers don't do that. It's very like, it's very like we're clip farming or we're Ludwig where we have segments. And he's basically just filming 4 YouTube videos during the stream. And it's not a stream. It's not a stream. Like it's a live recording in a way.
Exactly.
Or it's a live clip thing. So in my opinion, if you're talking about good streamers, you're talking about like Cole. You're talking about Cosmic. You're talking about Blood Thunder. You're talking about these people who just sit, they play their fucking game, and they are just entertaining for hours on end because they are able to talk and just organically bring up conversations because they just have random fucking thoughts pop up in their head. And like that's like a reason that I always say that Cole and Cosmic are really good streamers is because they can just field these topics out of thin air, right? Like when you're watching a Cole stream, now you may have been, you know, you may talk about Star Wars 5,500 times, and you go on the Star Wars Ranch at least once per month. But you space it out enough that you can have a Star Wars rant once per month on Cole stream, and that's still fun to listen to. You know what I mean? And it's just like, and he'll just field these random topics of just like this random niche Scooby game or like whatever the fuck that he's talking about. Like he'll just bring up topics. You'll commonly hear Cosmic talk about like new games that he's excited coming out. He'll talk about Control. He'll talk about like whatever the fuck random thing. This nigga will talk about fucking anything. It's crazy. Like this guy's an animal as a streamer. Like I don't fucking get it, right? And I think that's the thing, is that like having an active enough brain to be able to bring that up. And I think that like it is, it's just difficult to do. But me personally, I just think that only certain people can be streamers. And I think like them two are, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, so if you're viewing it through that lens, that's kind of what I view as a streamer. Like I think, like for me in my head, like Cosmic is like a quintessential streamer, you know, like Cutie Cinderella is a quintessential streamer. Like you watch their streams and it's just like a whole package of like continuous hours of like, this is entertainment. You can hop in at any time and you'll get the gist in like 2 seconds, right? It's like, there's no time where they're just sitting there doing nothing. Like unless Cosmic gets a little mad, but like, again, you can go into any streamer's stream, you'll find moments where they're not saying anything, right? Like that's you're cherry picking them at that point.
Okay, yeah.
Which is why I always say that if you want to see what a streamer is like, watch them for 1 hour or 30 minutes. Really, just 30 minutes. If you get 30 minutes, you should be able to get it. 1 hour, you really get it, right? And so I think like with you, obviously, like, yeah, I wouldn't classify you as a good streamer. I'm not a good streamer either. Like I think the only way that we are good streamers are if we are in a call with someone else who's like fueling topics, right? Or you're bouncing off of someone in a call, right? That's why I stream a lot in a call, because if I don't stream a call, I'm not saying a single word unless someone types in my chat. It's just not happening.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not necessarily trying to be entertaining on stream, so I'm not a good...
Yeah, that's the other thing, too, is like, should I try to be entertaining? Like, obviously,
I mean, that's up to you.
The answer is, it's up to me, right? Because the other thing that kind of came into my mind is that if I put on a Twitch stream, especially on second monitor, it's not always because I'm looking to get like entertainment isn't necessarily the goal always for me.
Sometimes people just want something on in the background, making noise,
or just like a certain kind of vibe that I kind of can't put into words. Like sometimes like I think about the fact that, you know, my mom will have like instead of like having the TV off these days, like she'll put like, especially during the winter time, she'll put on like the 1 hour like, you know, like loop of like the chimney or like fire, or not chimney fire.
Sure. People watch Friends, but people just have Friends playing forever on their TV, right? They're not watching it. Yeah, it's the same thing with streamers.
Or I'd have video essays on in the background where I'm not really paying attention to it, but it just kind of puts me into this mental state. So like, I guess, because I'm wondering if I'm starting to, and if there's nothing wrong with me being more towards that second category, because it's weird because I have this thought in my head that I'm a bad streamer, and obviously you're totally chill to have that opinion about me too. But then I've had a lot of other people tell me that I'm, my stream is really chill. They really appreciate the vibes and stuff like that. So
both things can be true.
Yeah. If that makes sense. Yeah. So
like you cannot be a good streamer, but people can still enjoy watching your stream. That's why you always are like averaging around like 8 to 10 viewers, and most of them are just lurking. Right? They're just there.
And just because I'm not a good streamer doesn't mean I'm not a good something else.
Yeah, they just like your vibe. They like watching you. You know what I mean? Like that's like, which that is a different thing, right? That I don't really view.
It's entirely different.
Yeah.
It's an entirely different like metric, right? Because Nestani has the metric by which he views people to be good at streaming.
Yeah. And other people have other metrics.
Because I view streams through the lens of I'm actively watching. If I'm in a stream, I'm actively watching.
Yeah.
I don't watch streams second monitor.
Yep.
Rarely. I mean, I do, but like I put certain people.
I was gonna say I'm second monitor, bro.
You are second monitor, but you're also primary monitor a lot of the time, right? Yeah. Like Cole's primary monitor a lot of the time, but he's also secondary monitor. Like basically, the streamers that I watch are both primary and secondary monitor, and they oscillate between. But like.
Yep.
Like Small Ant for the most part is a secondary monitor. Like Small Ant's never primary monitor for me. He's always secondary. Always. I don't primary him pretty much ever, except for that one time that I lost like 7 hours watching him do an archipelago. I'm going to kill myself still.
Yeah.
Still mad about it.
I think my thing that's maybe warping my perception of this is I don't really consider it like hardly ever myself to be primary monitor watching a stream, like ever. And even if I have nothing else up except the stream, so in essence, it's technically primary monitor.
But you're
because of the way my brain is always going, right? So there is never one. I am always multitasking. I am always doing, like there will be times where I'll be thinking 2 separate thought trains at the same time. I recognize that's really abnormal. So I wonder if because of that, it's warping my perception of what it means to be quote unquote entertaining or what it means to be a good stream, because the inherent way that I interface with streams as a medium, as a viewer, might be a bit different than, the majority of the population, if that makes sense. Because correct me if I'm wrong, the way I kind of seem to look at that doesn't seem normal, if I had to guess, right? Like, I would say
no normal. Perspective, like how you interface with art is completely up to you. I don't think that's
But in terms of watching habits, like the primary, secondary monitor type of thing, like I feel like those kinds of situations are a bit more common on average.
I think it's completely up to the person. I hate to say it, but you're not unique. There's so many people like you.
Yeah,
that do the same shit, like with Twitch and this experience. They're like, a lot of people just will have a stream up, but they're not paying attention to it,
I wonder if there's research on that, actually.
Like when I say secondary monitor, I don't literally mean secondary monitor. I mean, if you're engaging with the stream in a secondary monitor fashion, like it's just on in the background while you're doing something else. Like friends being on like your TV while you're walking around cleaning your house and you're in and out, right? Like your brain, you're just thinking about something and you might be staring at the stream the whole time, but you're thinking about other things, but you're still interfacing in and out. It's the same thing in my vantage point, right? In my definition.
Yeah.
But my definition is not everyone's definition.
Yeah. And I wonder if it's coming down to also how I view entertaining as a word not fully encapsulating what it is that I want to do. Because I think I care more about... I think there's a do you see an appreciable difference between the phrase being entertaining versus being engaging?
Yes.
Right? Where it's like, I care, and if you believe that, I honestly care way more about being engaging than I care about being entertaining. Because you can be engaged with someone or in something, and I don't think you're necessarily being entertained. Like there are some video games out there that are not fun. And the game, well, no. No. Let me.
We just got done talking about 2XKO.
I have an example. I have an example that proves the rule. Where it's like, but the game not being like the game, or maybe the game is stressful, right? You're engaged, like maybe a horror game isn't fun all the time because you're scared, or you're stressed because you're trying to manage all these things. But it's still very engaging. Right?
I'm often frightened when I watch Jaxler streams.
Yeah. I think the game that comes to mind for me is a game called Pathologic. It's like this kind of survival, it's like pitched as survival horror, but it's a lot more survival, where you're like trying to survive this plague and find a cure for it. But like there's like 30 bajillion, not like 30 bajillion, but there's like a ton of different like meters that you have to keep track of, like your hunger, your hydration, how you have to make sure you don't get sick, and like everything's hella expensive and everyone wants to beat you to death. And it takes time to get anywhere. So every little ticking down of the clock might mean that you don't actually beat the game. And it's like a single player game, right? And that's a game that is stressful and isn't maybe fun or entertaining in the same way, but it is extremely engaging because of the way that it's designed, right? So I wonder, like, considering that in mind, I wonder if, like what vectors there might be to be an engaging streamer that isn't necessarily obsessed with being entertaining.
Watch Cosmic stream.
I mean, I do that a lot.
He's very engaging, but I wouldn't say he's entertaining. I would say Cole is more of an entertaining type streamer, and Cosmic is more of an engaging, because like Cosmic will have a full in-depth conversation with like one person in his chat sometimes, and everyone else is just sitting there, and we're like, well, okay, he's ISOing this guy. But like Cole will kind of talk to like everyone and kind of just like be more of the entertainer, and like he's the butt of the joke a lot of the time on his stream, right? And he's doing that whole thing.
Yeah.
Because and that's like the thing. Yeah, go ahead.
So I was gonna say, so for me, a lot of like learning to be better at streaming was understanding at some point that like I needed to kind of fit the way that I wanted to be into how things were gonna work, and sort of how I framed everything that was happening on stream. So like I've had somebody compare my streams to like just watching some random dude be cracked at an arcade game and then like going up, talking with him for a little while, and then like, okay, I'm going to go back to what I'm doing.
Yep.
You know, he said, you just do that with action games instead of arcade games.
It's a great.
And so for me, it was like, well, you know, like people are going to be sitting there watching me like while they eat dinner, or they're going to be doing whatever. And so I figured, well, I'm just going to kind of talk to myself about things that are on my mind, because to me, like, and speedrunning fits into this too, because when you're watching somebody grind for a PB, you're there kind of to experience not just them. Well, if you're interested in the streamer and not just the game, you're interested in seeing their journey with the game and kind of how that intersects with them as a person. So it's basically like me giving like people a window into how I am at this period of time while I'm playing this game. And it was just kind of like, well, what's like Nestani said, I talk about Control Resident and how I'm been excited for that game. Or I'll just like offhandedly mention something wild that happened at work. Or, I'll be like, well, I walked down an aisle in the grocery store, and some lady was just pulling out two pieces of bread. She might have been pulling that out too. I don't know. But she was pulling out just two pieces of bread from the package. And she looked me dead in the eyes and then turned around and walked away. This didn't actually happen. I'm just giving this as an example. So
this is why he's a good streamer. He got your ass, bro.
Yeah.
Well, that was the problem. Is I said,
you were engaged.
You were engaged, bro. You got in there. You were invested.
No. Here's what actually happened.
He was Cosmic, paint me the picture of the grocery store.
No. Here's what happened is that I dissociated mid-convo, and then I picked up on that detail. I went from second monitor back to primary monitor there in that moment.
Back to primary,
so I didn't miss the part where you were explaining this as a metaphor. I thought you were just telling a story, right? Anyway, so.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. So
yeah, I got owned. No, don't get me wrong. I still got owned.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, absolutely.
That's how I got owned. I want to keep the record straight on how I got owned.
It was one of those things where I knew I didn't want to be loud. I effectively just wanted to be just talking in my normal voice, and just basically being like, yeah, I'm just hanging out, playing, and talking about life, and that's just kind of where we're at. And then because I got so good at that, people, and especially as I built like a following with, staying on the DMC series, then more people started being active in my chat. And as a result, now I had new things to talk about, that it wasn't just me bringing stuff up.
Yeah.
And then that gives you it gives you an easier time, because like, here's the other thing too, right? Is that if I'm going to sit there and play a game for 4 hours, and I know it is part of possibly a week's long journey of grinding for a new time, I am not going to sit there and just do it the same way the whole time. I cannot just fucking focus on just the game. Like, that is just torturous. I have tried it offline a couple of times to actually like go for a PB, and I'm like, I could use a fucking grilled cheese right now, bro. Like, I can't do this,
I think it's weird, because I might be the opposite in that regard. But yeah. I also was trained. Games that are.
I think it's just you play into your strengths and your weaknesses.
Yeah. Because you gotta remember, I was a distance swimmer. So like for not even minutes, like hours at a time, I would just be underwater with like, and you cannot talk to people underwater. I don't know if you've tried doing that before, but it's not really viable. Yeah, I know. So like, that's like the tricky thing, right? Is like, I've been like, the thought I've had is like, have I been like built in a lab in some ways to not be, you know, and I was like, oh, am I just never going to be a good streamer? But I think what I'm more so recognizing is I'm not going to be a good streamer in the way that Cole is a good streamer, right? If anything, I would probably be better off being a good streamer in the way that Cosmic is a good streamer, if that makes sense. And kind of what I'm realizing through this conversation is like, don't be something that I'm not, or like play, or rather play to my skill set.
Just get some dreads,
dude. Yeah. I'm not gonna fumble ice. I don't want to fumble ice space. I'm not gonna do that in front of a bunch of people.
I don't know what that means. I don't watch your stream. I'm sorry.
I don't either. But
Cole, you were gonna say something.
Bro, yeah.
I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. Is like, I mean, what Cosmic was just talking about was he played into his strengths and his weaknesses, kind of thing. Yeah. So like he figured out like how he talks and what he wanted to accomplish from his streams, and he figured out a way that he could do that. So I feel like comparison is a very difficult thing to do, especially when it comes to something as abstract as engagement or entertainment, because both of them is pretty bad. Because on one hand, it's like you want to copy and twist, but at the same time, you don't want to like do something where it's completely so far removed from yourself. Because people can sense when something is ingenuine or not genuine or whatever that word would be.
Yeah. Disingenuous.
But disingenuous. Yeah. So it's like kind of hard to suggest something, but
I mean, I think the real thing is that you just need to make a decision on what you want to do, right? Like, I think this whole conversation, just to me, I've been reading this as I don't know the answer. And until you know the answer of like if you want to actually give a shit about streaming or not give a shit about streaming, then that completely changes your approach, right? You have to make that decision first.
That's true.
Because I feel like you're in between right now. Because because looking at us three, two of us have made a decision to be a good streamer. One of us has said, I do not give a single fucking shit. Okay. That's me. I don't care. Yeah. Right. And so it's like you could be me and just like cut your losses and be like, I'm not going to spec into this. Like whenever I do anything, for the most part, I'm always trying to get better. Streaming, I have determined that it is not worth the amount of effort to improve and get better at this. Could I? Yes. I think I can get good at anything that I want. But like in terms of like how much I would have to work harder to improve at this than like Cole does. Right. Because Cole is just fucking better out of the box. Some people are just better than you out of the box at certain things, right?
Exactly, right.
And that's just
kind of what I'm thinking is it's like when I was thinking about the YouTube stuff. Yeah.
I think that like because you do better in a recorded fashion, I think that fits you a bit better. Yeah. Right. Because you can be like, I'm gonna flare up for this amount of time and then I'm just gonna go dormant for the next 20 hours. Right.
Yeah. Because if I don't have the problem is if I don't have a plan. If I don't have a plan, I kind of up a little bit.
I was about to say that's what I've noticed, because I mean when you do GDQ runs, that's technically like that's a huge live stream thing,
scripted,
but it's it's scripted. Like you have a plan,
because I don't write out what I'm going to say, but I rehearse it in my head and I visualize it, and I have all that time to think about. Yeah. It's a YouTube video, exactly.
It's what Ludwig does. It's a live recording.
Yeah. Yep. And, you know, it's funny, too, because we're, you know...
GDQ was filmed before a studio audience.
It's kind of funny, too, because, you know, we're doing, you know, and by the time this goes up, some of these streams will already have happened. But, like, I've kind of set up, in a way, a lot of these streams. Because I have seen those videos where Ludwig's talked about, like, streaming as a means of, like, just live recording YouTube videos, right? And some of these, you know, kind of streams that I have set up are kind of designed in that way. Right, like the stream we did where it's like kind of like the all bosses kind of like gauntlet of Soul Reaver 1, Frog Monster, and then Neopets. Those are all just 3 separate speedrun explain videos with live commentary back to back to back, right? Or like the which one was it? the game dev stream. Like that is just can I make a U-Draw game in 3 hours or however many hours, right? Yeah. So
I think you would be a great streamer for like events, not just like off the cuff improv kind of thing.
Yes.
Like if you ever hosted a Neopets speedrun tournament or event, you would kill it.
Yeah, spitting.
Yeah, he'd knock it out. Yeah.
But you're right. Improv is always something I have struggled with. I used to play. We talked about it. I played clarinet, and I used to play in the jazz band, right? And I
forgot that you've also played clarinet.
And I would be given like there was like one song where I was like given an opportunity to do like the solo thing, and in jazz you like improv it, right? But I could never really get ever comfortable improvising on the instrument. So I came up with like a riff or just kind of like an idea of a solo in my head, and I would basically use that skeleton and then maybe add flares here and there every now and again every time I played it, right? So I wasn't actually improvising a solo. I had just written one in my head.
Are you aware that like a lot of freestyle rappers use those same strategies?
And jazz musicians use the same thing as well.
Yes, I am aware of that.
Yes.
But when it comes to like true improv, like off the dome shit, no. I lock up. That's interesting though, you know.
So
or like you lock up after an extended amount of time. I think that's also a thing. Like you can do it for a little bit, but then you just like hit a wall eventually.
I just run out of juice.
Yeah.
Where it's just like I need. Yeah,
I get that sometimes. I mean, it's hard to stay in a flowing kind of motion.
Yep. That's why I say streaming is fucking hard.
Like
it is the hardest form of content creation, and it's not close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I know people are like, oh, you just sit there and play video games. I'm like, yeah, nigga, but you have 0 viewers, so shut the fuck up. Like, what the fuck? No one's watching it.
Yeah.
For a reason. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you cannot be Kai Cenat. Like, you can't do it. Like, you just can't. You can't even be fucking Blood Thunder, bro. Like, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like, you're so far away. Sick of these niggas.
Damn. But
anyway,
it is effectively.
I think that's going to be the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Wait. Did you?
Unless you had another thought. But.
Well, I was going to say it's effectively Truman showing yourself, right?
Yeah.
And just doing that for a long, long time.
Yeah. And sometimes you just don't got it.
The Truman Show, but also a subversion of the Truman Show.
Yeah.
You just have to be a specific type of person to do it, in my opinion. You have to relentlessly train for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just think about Mr. Beast. He trained for 10 years to become a YouTuber. That could be you, but with streaming. Anyway,
I'm good.
That's gonna be
you know what? That's a good pitch.
In 10 years, you can be modern day Willy Wonka.
In 10 years,
you can be 10 years older.
In 10 years,
if you were from where I was from,
you just won't be. You'll never catch up.
Oh,
he'll always be better than you.
I'm always 2 steps ahead.
Anyone have anything to announce? Well, so Jax has all the streams shit to announce, so go ahead.
Yeah, so we already had a couple of those streams. I mentioned the U-Draw game dev thing. That's going to be happening on August 30th at 3 p.m. start.
What time are we doing the thing on the 2nd, by the way?
On the 2nd?
Yeah.
I had 3, but if you want to start earlier, just let me know.
I can do 3. Yeah, that works for me.
Cool. And then, that second stream on September 2nd. Nestani and I are going to do I think we're going to do a Lunasis True Ending race. And neither of us have played that game in
I don't even know the True Ending route. So apparently we're doing True Ending. I've never ran the True Ending route, so I'll have to figure it out.
Yep. And then donation incentive for 70 star. I will finally play Mario 64.
Oh my god.
I've been practicing 70 star every single day in prep.
Yeah. And so that's going to be kind of a milestone goal. So any like donation that you put towards like anything period during the week will go towards that. I think our goal is like 800 is what we're looking at right now. So, if I'm not dumb and I don't forget, I will put the link to that I'll just probably leave a comment on this video on the YouTube version. But I believe you can also go to gdq.gg. I should probably find the link. You know what? I'll just fucking post it in the comment. I really totally figured this one out in advance. I'm really good at this. As you can tell, I'm a great streamer, guys. I'm really good at this shit. See what happens when I don't fucking have a plan and I go off the cuff. It's gross. Anyway, that's what we got. Yeah.
True.
Cosmic Cole.
I just have the 102 grind for DMC5 really going on. I'll probably have to pivot to like dual maining that and Vanquish, but we'll see. Just kind of waiting on some other games to come out while I decide if I'm going to speedrun them or not.
Okay. And then I got quite a bit going on. Ooh. I'm really hoping to get a video out next week, but I have no idea. I'm already a week behind one of the deadlines I wanted to get done. Another thing is starting on the 1st of September, I'm going to be playing Ring Fit Adventure every single day of the month to see if I can lose weight with it. So if you were there for my Wii Fit streams or you know of my Wii Fit video, it's a very similar concept, except I'm doing it with the Switch game. So I'm going to make a video about that.
Banger.
I'm going to do it next month. I actually haven't even bought it, but I need to go do that. So I need to go do that. And then obviously there's more Scooby streams, although honestly it's looking pretty sour. I don't know if I can meet my goal in time and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, so yeah, a lot of things going on for me right now. So
yeah,
I'm doing nothing.
And my beard will be back.
That's not true. You'll be doing the race with me.
Oh yeah, okay. But we already announced. I'm not doing anything, guys.
Okay.
I'll be streaming if I'm streaming. Goodbye forever.